name is Marissa. I'm Kiss Creations here on YouTube and on Instagram, and this is a Flosstube channel. Flosstube is primarily about cross stitch. Sometimes I have some quilting thrown in, but not today. And I actually have a little bit of a gardening update for you too, for those of you that are interested. I'll stick it a little closer to the end. I wanted to welcome back all of my returning viewers and welcome to my new viewers. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, that's fine. Watch the video. If you like what you see, I would love for you to stick around and like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Today, we're going to talk about some whips. I had a really big finish, and we're going to talk about plans, and I'm going to show you a little bit of my garden. So let's start off with a little bit of an update. It's been 2 weeks since my last video. It's been kind of busy, kind of not. It's just summer. My girls had field hockey camp this week and loved every second of it. Last Friday was my husband's birthday, which was why you didn't see me. And that weekend or the weekend before, we had a stitchy meetup with some friends. I've done a couple stitchy meetups. So I did an in-person stitchy meetup with my group up here. And then I joined, I wasn't able to do Lindy Stitches, I wasn't able to do, Lindy Stitches Midsummer Stitch because it was my husband's birthday weekend. But I was able to, for maybe an hour or 2 hours, sign on to Beth, the Steadfast Stitcher. She has a Facebook group called Crafts and Books, and she was hosting Zooms all weekend, and she had an open Zoom room, and so I was able to kind of hop on there when I could because there were just always, I think it was always open. On, I think Saturday, I was able to hop on for a little bit and say hi to a couple people and meet some new friends. So if you're here, thank you so much. It was really nice stitching with you for the short time. My girls were here and they were not having that I was doing something on my own. So they, the people that got to meet me also got to meet my girls, and thank you for including them and making them feel special. They really enjoyed their 5 minutes of fame on camera. All right, I'll link Beth's group below and her Flosstube channel so that you can visit her and kind of get some more details on that. Hi, Editing Marissa here. I just wanted to make sure to thank the cross stitch guy, Yoshi, for his shout out in his most recent video. If you haven't checked him out yet, he stitches a lot of heids, and he's got the Deadly Aquarium going on some really beautiful fabric, and I just shoot over there and check him out. He's a little bit on the newer side for Flosstubes, and he films once a month ish, and so he's always a good updater. He I've talked about him before in my videos. I think he doesn't look at what his patterns are going to look like after, he doesn't look at what they're going to look like once he starts them. It's surprises for him just based on the pattern. So with he's got an awesome Mirabilia going, and he's got a bunch of heids going. So with heids, you definitely really, without looking at the cover photo, you're going to see things start to come into your stitching that you don't know what they are, which I think is really awesome. I could never do it, but he's doing it. So I will leave that to him, but go check him out, and I will put him down below too. All right, back to the video. Okay, let's talk about whips first, because that is where how my piles are today. So last time I saw you, a day later, I worked a little bit on the Deadly Aquarium SAL. So I haven't picked it up. I am behind still on this. And then I made a super boo-boo up here on some of the back stitching, and I backstitched spots that I wasn't supposed to. I attempted for 2 seconds to take it out, and you know how your stitching pattern with X's? I know my stitching pattern with X's, so it's easy to take X's out when I need to, but it's not easy to take. I don't have like a normal backstitching pattern, so it was not easy to take back stitches out. So I think I'm just gonna leave it, and it's gonna look that way. It's gonna be a little bit different than everybody else's, and I'm okay with that. So I need to get back to this because now I think there's either 3 or I think the 4th since I've stitched on it last release is today. So I really need to pop back onto this one. It is stitched on 40 count Frozen Fractals 1/2 with the called for DMC. Frozen Fractals is by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Steph. And it is beautiful. It has like some greens and blues. It doesn't always, I think there might even be a little purple in there. It just doesn't, it really doesn't film that well, but it's such a pretty fabric, and this is such a beautiful stitch, and Lola Crow is genius. I will say it every time that I talk about her cross stitch patterns. So this is gonna pop back up in plans, but it's definitely it was definitely a whip in between the last times I saw you. Okay, next was Quaker Pumpkins, and Quaker Pumpkins is by Hello from Liz Mathews. So it looks like this. This was a, I think, Market 2020 release, I want to say. That was the last market that I like got really excited about a lot of patterns from, and so that's why I think it's from that. And I think I actually might have talked about that in my last video. But I pulled this out because Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe was doing a SAL for her birthday, for her 40th birthday. And it was the hashtag Hello 40 B-Day SAL. And it was either start or stitch on any Hello from Liz Mathews pattern. And so I brought this one back out. And I am stitching it not in the called for colors, and I'm going to put a picture here of where it was when I picked it up. I had a very measly start on it for how long I've had this in my whip pile. So thank you, Stephanie, because this was such a great reason to get it out and get some stitches into it, because there are some patterns in my whip pile that like I have good starts on. This was not one of them. And so it was time to like put the pedal to the metal. So again, that's where I was, and here's where I am now. And I am, as you can see, not stitching in the called for colors. This is my color palette. And all of the colors are now on here except for, let's see, Island Blue from Gast. So this is the last color. It's sort of similar. This is Santa Cruz from Weeks. It's similar but not. Santa Cruz is more of a blue, and then the Island Blue is more of like a teal. So here's where I am. And I will list all my flosses down below. All of the patterns that I show you are listed down below with their fabrics when I know them. This is Fiber on a Whim, but I forget what it's called. I will see if I can figure that out. I keep saying that and then I don't figure it out. But I know it's Fiber on a Whim. It's 40 count. I am stitching 1/2 in not called for flosses. Oh, the gray though is the called for gray. So that's where that is, and thank you again, Stephanie, for getting me motivated to stitch on this. All right, next I stitched on, I showed you this, I think my last video, the Santa Key. This is Hands On Design. This is also a 2020 market release. If Hello from Liz Mathews was, this is also. This for sure is, I don't know if, again, yep. And this, I think, last video I talked to you all about Santa's hair, about how it's like gold and how that's kind of odd. So I brought this to my stitchy meetup and I polled the audience, and then Helen D, East Coast Crafter, she got out a picture of hers that she had done, and she had changed the hair to the lighter gray of the 2 grays that are in this pattern. So I'm going to do the same thing. I think that was a genius idea. Instead of doing it white, I think the gray will work out well. So I haven't done that yet, But I did stitch his beard, and I filled in some of the red Creme that is needed. So this is where he's at. You can, his beard is hard. Let's see. If I turn him like this, is his beard easier to see? It shows up fine in person, but the lighting is kind of off. Let's see. Yep. We're just not going to see the white. There we go. That's a little bit better. So that's what Santa looks like for now. I'm going to work on him a little bit more this week, I think. I think he's in my plans. Oh, he's not in my plans, but he might get some work. We'll see. So the Santa key was another whip that got worked on. And then we have a new focus piece. So in our stitchy meetup, my friend Brandy mentioned that she was going to start Act of God from Long Dog. Act of God has been on my list of wants since it was released. I love it. There's whales and like seahorses in the top that I absolutely adore, and they sold me the second I saw it. So she's starting it September 1st. She is the SAL queen, and I have now been sucked in to her Salliness. So thank you, Brandy, for you know, putting that worm in there. But I think I mentioned before that I didn't want to have 2 long dogs going at a time. So the other long dog that I have been working on is the token. And I pulled that out. So I'm gonna pop in a picture from my whip parade because I forgot to take a picture of this before I started stitching on it this time around. So I'm gonna pop in a picture from my whip parade of where I was when I started and show you where I'm at now. And this is going to be my new focus piece. So, because I finished my last focus piece, which I'm gonna show you in a second. All right, so here's where I am now. So I stitched this whole motif right here. And this little flower. So this is on 36 Edinburgh, 36 count Tycho from Picture This Plus, which is like a off dirty white, I would say. It has like little small faded gray areas. I really like it as a background for this piece. And then the floss is Silks4U Silk PR126, I believe. It will again be down below. All the patterns that I work on today will be listed down below with their specifics. So floss and fabric. So this is the skein of silk, and I don't cut my skein all up, I pull from it. And it variegates between 666 and 816, 815, 816. So I adore it. I love this floss. I love this silk. I am gonna have plenty still when I am done because I'm over halfway. There is like one more motif on each side for the top. So I think like that is probably an accurate representation of about how tall it will be right here. And I am going to add in another color. There are 2 motifs, one's down here and one's up here, that have like information in them. So one will have mine and my husband's initials, and then the other one has a date in it. So I'm going to use our wedding date, and this is going to be our wedding sampler. Our anniversary is September 10th, which is coming up. The new SAL starts September 1st. So my goal is to finish this by the end of August, which I think I can do, because this motif right here took me, I don't know, maybe like 6 days of like partial stitching. So like I would stitch on this like after work, and then I would stitch on Quaker Pumpkin at night, was kind of like what was happening. Or I would stitch on 99 and then I would stitch on this at night. So it was getting, so it got about a week's worth of work, and that created that. So if I focus on it a little bit heavier, I think I can get it done pretty quickly. Okay, so speaking of, I finished it. I finished it. Oh, there's the whole thing. And I am so excited. So I'm not going to show you the cover picture because I stitched it on the called for fabric with the called for DMC. I am going to stand up and show you up close. We'll do like a little trail. It's amazing. It's amazing what Tracy did with these bottles. So I absolutely love this stitch. So my plans for finishing have been somewhat derailed because, so remember I said, look at, hey, there's the camera. So I was like, oh, I want to finish it on a bar mirror. So it has like a chalkboard on it. It is like an inch, like the project is an inch too big. It would either be like baggy, or like it would like come up here, and there's no way to like not to like change what size it is. Like it is what it is. So back to the drawing board, or the chalkboard, so to speak, and finding another one of those. So I'm gonna just want to make sure that doesn't fall because it's a mirror. I'm gonna go to thrift shopping with measurements on my phone and see if I can figure out how to frame that, and or what I want to frame it on, or if I can find another piece of like cool beer company swag to stick that on, and we'll go from there. But it's finished, it's done. I am immensely proud of myself for really sticking to what I said. And I think I am going to kind of stick with, or I am going to stick with this whole like have an older focus piece to really try to finish up, and then you can stitch all your other things like partially, but I need to get some stitches into those older pieces and move them along in the forward direction. After that, last week I showed you, or 2 weeks ago, I showed you my new pattern that I made, the litter critters, and that got sent out to my swap partner, and I got my swap back. So Link is my homeboy, hosts cross stitch swaps. So for smalls, and then she also hosts artist trading card swaps. And I try to join them when I know that I'm gonna actually like have time to do the thing, because sometimes I don't like being the person that is like late for stuff, even though I'm always like kind of a little bit late. And it's not like, there's nothing wrong with being late, especially if you like communicate, but like for me, like I've cried on the way to like things because I have so much anxiety about being to places on time. And then I get there and like everybody else is late, and it's just like, chill out, lady. Like, it's gonna be fine. I'm not fine. So I have to like focus on when it's okay for me to do those things. There's your little trip into my psyche. But anyways, so Link is my homeboy, hosts them. Link is my homeboy, had me. So It was a awesome animals swap. And in the questionnaire, it asks like what animals you like. And I put like ocean stuff, Pisces, like the water sign, like give me all the water. And then she emailed me and said, your swap partner would like to know what colors you like. And anybody that knows me knows that like aqua and red is my color combo, that those were my wedding colors. They live here on here, they live here on here. Like I love aqua and red. And so she stitched me this amazing octopus, and he's red and aqua, and he's gonna go live on that ladder with my other little cross stitch pillows in my crafty corner. But she did a beautiful job. I love the finish, and it has this adorable starfish pattern on the back. I love that fabric. And then she sent me a couple goodies and some scrap, like for like small size linens as like my goodie that came with. And these are all so pretty and so fun, and I am so excited. And then she sent me some stickers too, so those will go on my book, and a sweet little note. So thank you, Heather. I absolutely love my swap. Thank you for hosting. I know it is not easy tracking us all down and making sure we do what we are supposed to do. You are so appreciated, and I think it's such like an awesome opportunity to swap, like even if you aren't at a retreat or somewhere that is hosting a swap, she makes it so that you can still do one. So check her out. She did do Flosstube. She hasn't done one in a while, but she has an Instagram, and it is Link is my homeboy, and then she also has a separate Instagram for the swaps, and I will post that below with her Link is my homeboy handle and then her swap handle too, so that you can see those. Okay, I'm gonna put in my video of my garden, and then we're gonna talk about plans. So check out my garden video. If you don't want to see it, it's like 5-6 minutes long. You can just skip right past it and get to the plans part. If you are done, thank you for joining me. But plans are always super exciting. So, and then my plants are super exciting. I think I have a video, like lots of videos back, called Plants and Plans, or Plants and Plant Plans. Yeah, okay, so garden video here. All right, it's a little breezy back here today, but hopefully the audio isn't too bad. Put my headphone in to kind of help with that. I wanted to do an update of our garden. It looks a lot different than it did the last time I showed it to you. So, as you can see, our garlic is gone, and I'll show that to you at the end when we come back around. We did harvest it. And our lettuce looks a lot different. So this is what happens to lettuce when it gets really hot. It's called bolting. So the lettuce bolts, and then it sends out flowers, and then those flowers have seeds. So this is called letting it go to seed now where we're at. And I will harvest seeds from that plant kind of after those flowers drop off or start drying out. And then we'll have our lettuce seeds for next year. There are still leaves on those, and I'll kind of come closer and give you a little. So there are still leaves on here, but these leaves are going to be really bitter if you eat them. Once you kind of get past, like, there's a couple down there, like those I might have eaten, but now we're at the point that those are like kind of done, and I wouldn't eat those up there. So got some peppers there, those, and I'll show you over here too. We had a really bad Japanese beetle problem this year. So some of our peppers have gotten really stunted because they just haven't been able to grow. It also got our basil, which is finally bouncing back, but like these poor pepper plants, let's see. These ones look a little better. These are bell peppers. And it looks like we'll be getting some off of here, and like I said, they are bouncing back. But these pepper plants are looking lovely. I'll come down here. So these are serrano peppers, and then these are jalapenos. So these are looking nice and bushy. And then we've got some more hot peppers here, and then this was our garlic bed. There's still some peas I need to pull out from right there. Let's see, this is a tomato in a bag. I'm actually not sure what these are. I think these ones might actually be heirlooms. I got a couple plants from one of the doctors at my work, and he had labeled the same way I do, which is really poorly, and just, they're a tomato, they will grow. These are sun golds, so they'll stay that color. They're not going to get red. They're actually probably almost there. They'll stay that like sun gold. And Zoe's pumpkin and Evelyn's strawberries. So we've gotten a few flowers. We're kind of picking them off. First year of strawberries, when you're establishing a bed, they sort of say to not let it fruit, and that way it sends out runners. So I don't know if you remember, but we planted 2 plants in here, and this is what our bed looks like now. So it's kind of exciting. This is a cherry tomato plant that was a volunteer that I pulled out of our potato beds. And our potato beds are empty. Well, apparently we're farming an assortment of sports balls now and a little castle. But I do have a pepper over there that is hanging tough. And then some BB gun target practice is happening. All right, so our blueberries that we don't get any blueberries from, we actually had some turkey visitors in our backyard. Maybe I'll post a picture of that. I actually watched them eat the few blueberries off of our plants that were there. But my lavender has blossomed, and the bumblebees have been absolutely loving this. And so I'll keep that there. And then check out how much our raspberries have grown. So these are raspberries. There's raspberries growing in here around our blueberry bush. I think we're just gonna, I might try to dig out the blueberry bush this year and change it into a raspberry bed entirely, and leave the lavender. But look at, this is that like one plant. And then you have like these little guys. They're still kind of coming in strong. They'll, like I said, they'll really establish this year and then be better next year. And then we have this one. This one's on year, I think 3. This one's on year 4 or 5. So they really do get going. And then we've got a few apples. It's a parking garage. Check this guy out. Go in right here. So got some good sized apples in there. And there's a couple a little higher up. Don't want to blind y'all with the sun. All right. Get a nice view of our backyard is well played in. All right, and then the garlic is coming inside today. It got rained on. So we harvested 70 heads of garlic. Some of them are looking pretty good size. Pretty stoked on those. So the bigger ones, yeah, these need to come inside. The bigger ones we'll use as our seed garlic for next year, which just means we take them apart and plant the individual cloves, and then those will become our garlic crop for next year. All right, so you got a little bit longer of a garden tour today than last time. Thanks for sticking around. Just thought I would really give you an update on where we're at, and it's time to start some fall planting as well, so we'll get around to that. Back to stitching. All right, awesome. So thank you for tuning in for my gardening video. Tried to put a little bit of learning in there for you. If there is anything that you want to know more about, please let me know and I will answer it in the comments or in another video coming up. As far as plans go, so there's a bunch of stuff coming up. Today, the Olympics start. So I am doing Stitch the Summer Olympics hosted by the Naptime Stitcher. And again, information below. There is a different prompt for every day from opening ceremonies until the closing ceremonies. Today is opening ceremonies, and it's either stitch something started in 2024 or have a new start. I'm gonna have a new start. It's today. I still don't know what that new start's going to be. I film on my lunch hour, so I have, you know, still another little bit of work to do for today, and then I will go ahead and figure out what I'm gonna start, and then I'll post that on Instagram tonight with all the prompts from the SAL. So I'm doing that, and then so I also planned out all of my patterns that are gonna fit into those prompts. So the patterns that are going to make appearances during the Stitch the Olympics stuff are One Nation by Bygone Stitches, The Shores of Hakron Hollow, The Token will have some time, Consider the Lilies is coming back out, which I'm super excited about. Deadly Aquarium's gonna make some appearances in there. Gonna go back to the sampler book because I've been talking about that for like 3 videos now, wanting to get back to that. And Tiki Beach Sunset, which is one of my Hades. And I'm really excited to put some stitches back into that. I really want to get that up a little bit higher in the percentage world. It's between 3 and 4% right now, I think. I would really like to get at least to 5 by the end of the year, if not a little bit further. But that's like a 360,000 stitch project. So that means every percentage point is like 3,600 stitches. So it's a lot, it's a chunk. I would say I want to get to the 10% mark, which is what my goal was for my other Hade, Mini Which Way. But this one is bigger, so it's not a mini, it's a full size, and it's a pretty big size, full size. Then on August 1st, the Runner Stitcher, Lola D Stitches, and Salix Stitches are hosting the Let Your Lighthouse Shine SAL. And since I already am gonna have shores out for some of the Olympics stitching, I figured it was a great time to participate in that SAL and get some more stitches into Shores of Hakron Hollow. I am almost done with the Lighthouse block, which is exciting. So once I get that done, then I get to move to the next block. So even though I won't be stitching on the lighthouse, there will be stitches on a lighthouse project. So I think that's it for today. Thank you again for joining me. I really appreciate having you here. If you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in 1 to 2 weeks' time. Talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye.